If we hadn't added those boxes, it wouldn't be as even from front to back. So that was her first comment. Is
No,
it sounds
it-
the same up there as it does
It's
back
incredible,
here, and that's
yeah.
exactly how it's
Yeah.
designed to be. So thank you for allowing us to do one of the things that we rest our reputation on is that we always provide the right solution. We could have gotten by with the 8 boxes, but it just, in our opinion, wouldn't have been right. So now we can walk away feeling comfortable that this was right.
Now, will we need to do any adjustments when we get absorbing bodies in here?
You shouldn't have to.
Okay.
Now, obviously, when it comes to, so this was my next portion of the training, the system in itself, there are 2 systems within one system. So a good audio system is built upon components, and those components build a system. So the components in this system are designed to do 2 things. They're designed to do a automatic system and a manual system, and an automatic and manual together in combination. So we're going to go over that in just a second as to what it means. But the way that the system is designed right now is this is the sound console in the sense of it allows you to take inputs, audio inputs into the back of this console. We'll go over this in detail. After a few weeks of use, we're going to have to do another more in-depth training as to the details of how this works because this can be a very complicated piece of equipment. In my years of experience sitting behind very large consoles, this is very easy to use. So I feel like it's very intuitive. If you've ever been behind a sound console, if you've never been behind a sound console, it's going to be intimidating and frightening. We're going to try and ease those concerns a little bit. But rest assured, this is a very easy component. So this is the manual portion, what I would call a manual portion of the system, saying that you can take certain inputs, and by input, an input could be a CD player, it could be a microphone, it can be a wireless microphone, could be choir microphones, instruments, any of those inputs, if you will, and they come into a channel, and this console here is the Allen & Heath QU24, and it is a digital console, so it's taking analog lines and converting them to digital sound, and then sending the sound out analog into a processor, which we're going to go in the back in a second, and I'll show you the rack, and then converting all of the lines, the low-level lines to high-level lines through the speaker chains and those types of things. And this gentleman here asked a great question. What's your name, sir?
Crumley.
Grimley? I missed, his question was, will there be a schematic of our system? And yes, you'll get a schematic of how everything's connected and wired. There was one that we designed before we install it, but after we start every installation, we always make changes because we always aren't 100% sure what we find until the system's done, but you'll get an as-built drawing.
Let me ask a dumb question. I know it'll be a hard copy.
No drum questions.
It turns out that it'll be a hard copy. You're gonna give a PDF of it?
I can give anything you want.
Please send a PDF.
Okay.
We'll get with you.
Good call.
It'll be a couple weeks because they have to go
Got it.
back.
He said that. He already
You
covered it.
already said they
He
go
already
back,
covered
right?
it.
Okay.
We go back, we
We'll
do
have
the
it.
as-builts.
Correct.
I can do one of 2 things. I can send a 11 by 17 in a binder. I can actually print you a full-size ANSI D copy if you want, if you have those size
I can
blueprints.
get a PDF.
And a
1 by
PDF.
17 can be converted to PDF.
Send.
I can
send
give you all
Frank.
that, so don't worry about that. That's the easy stuff. This is the hard stuff.
Yeah, but
So,
I'll take it.
all right,
you won't be here 5 years from now.
you don't know that. So this is the manual portion. I'm going to, for the time being, skip the intricate details of this and go over the basic functions of the system. Then towards the end of the training, we'll come back and go over some principles and concepts of this. So you have your mixer. You also have an equipment rack underneath here that has power distribution. It has the wireless access point because this mixer has an iPad capability, so you can take an iPad and walk throughout the sanctuary and make adjustments to the audio in the automatic system if you want. And then this also houses the CD or iPod playback. You can drop an iPod in here, and I'll show you how to do that as well. But everything is in here. And you'll be able to close it up and turn it off. This is the manual portion of the system. There's another portion of the manual system that somebody has already asked me the question. Over there next to the pulpit, and we'll walk up there in a second, this is for your contemporary worship. This is where all of your instruments are going to plug in, the band when they play, all those types of things. All of their equipment is up there. It is all completely 100% portable, so you can disconnect it, move it, store it, keep it wherever you want. It doesn't have to live there at all times. We set it up there so you can see it, use it. If you want to store it, I can help you store it. by the time we're done tonight, whatever you wanna do. Maybe you wanna leave it out and play with it, that's up to the church. So, so now that we've kinda gone through that, we'll go through to the back rack. I'm just gonna make sure that they're kind of out of the way before we do that, and then we'll spend a few minutes going over the automatic portion of the system, which is probably what it's going to be used for most of the time. It's very easy to use, show you how to turn the system off and on. All of that lives back there. And then we'll kind of get into some more in-depth portions of the training, and then hopefully answer any questions that you may have.
Cool.
So, any questions right now?
So you'll also cover the power-up sequence on the board too,
There's a switch back there, and that's
and
it.
it takes care of it.
Yep. So, why don't we actually go up to where the pulpit area, and I'll go over some of the instruments, or not the instruments, but the connection points over here, and then we'll go back to the rack.